Welcome to the Unfolding You podcast. I'm Erin Smylie Walsh, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a transformative journey of self-discovery and faith. Well, welcome to another episode of the Unfolding You podcast with me, your host, Erin Smylie Walsh. And I really hope you've been enjoying the episodes thus far. It's just been so encouraging for me to actually make them for you and just engaging with you while you're listening to them. So thank you so much for your continued support. If you feel this episode is going to be of value to somebody, please won't you share it? We don't want it only stuck in our little community. We really want to be able to encourage others with it. So just press a share. If you haven't subscribed just yet, subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcasts. And thank you so much again for your continued support. So today I want to talk around a topic that is quite sensitive, particularly to us women, and just the narrative that society has placed in us around it, and that is the topic of our bodies. It's being a mom to girls. It's really something I've been so aware of, and how I talk about myself and what that dictates to my girls and how they feel about their bodies. And I'm going to talk around quite a personal journey in my own life around placing value in my body and just what the Lord's commanded us to do in that as well. So from a really young age, I've always had an awareness of how much I ate. I've always had an awareness of the way my body looks. And I can say there's a natural tendency to compare our bodies to one another, what we do and what we don't have, what society says is of importance and is desirable, and the way our body may not fit that mold. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of us believe the narrative. We just believe that we are not the way others are, and so we are not desirable as a result of our bodies not being the ideal body shape, weight, tanned enough, smooth enough, curvaceous enough, slim enough, athletic enough, not athletic. Like, I could literally just continue for an unending amount of time. We are so quick to tell ourselves what is not right about ourselves and not enough about what is uniquely us. So I reckon from about 11 or 12, I went to, it was a group called Way Less. It's kind of like a Weight Watchers kind of scenario. You join a group, you get a little book, and it's all based on weight. It's all based on how many kilograms you are on the scale, and then the manner in which you are tracking your body's desirable weight loss is through weighing yourself. And the goal is that you are continually losing weight. You get a goal weight, so a desired goal weight, that is in proportion to your height. And your age doesn't even really play into it. But I always had this desired this desirable weight guide of like 55 kilos. I was like, what I should be. And to say every week was a high level of despondency for me because I was not losing the weight quick enough. And you were rewarded with like stickers and goals and stuff like that. And just that awareness of weight from such a young age put me acutely in a category of my body is imperfect. Okay. Now, we always grew up in a home where we did not overindulge in random sweets, and we were always mindful of what food did to us, and our mom was very good at that. But I think as a young person and growing and developing and going through puberty, and you start placing value on how small you could be compared to your friends. And this is just crazy. And the unfortunate thing is that's still developing now because we're running in a society of social media, of outward influence that is just accessible in such an instant that our generation, as well as our children, are in a situation now where they're completely bombarded by society and what we should look like and what is acceptable. So when I look back on photos now, I'm like, gee, Erin, like really, were you just that crazy? Like you did not look bad. And when I had girls, I made such a conscious decision to myself to ignore the narrative of comparison and the dislike of parts of my body. So I never talk about weight in front of my girls, and I actually never talk about self-hate around my body. And that honestly has taken years of just going over in my mind that I don't need to compare myself to someone else's desired weight. I lost so much time worrying about what I was going to look like in a swimming costume. Could I get the right type of board shorts to fit and cover up? I still have a little bit of a hesitation to wear shorts. I just don't like wearing shorts. But just such a narrative around my legs, and the lack of kindness towards myself. And what I did realize was my body just does not drop weight like that, but my body drops centimeters. My body is a highly inflammatory space that I just retain an immense amount of water. When I was pregnant, I was always just so worried about what I was going to gain, what weight I was going to gain when I had my girls, and was so aware of that. I think as the older we get, hopefully the more we're starting to realize our insecurities are either going to define our moments of movement, or they're going to be eradicated because they are preventing us from moving. And it's it's that moment of like, even just sitting here, like, what is my face going to look like? Am I retaining too much water? Can you imagine if that was like the stuff going through my head? And I'm like, I feel like that's the enemy just telling you what is not good about you. But then you're repeating it to yourself is actually just vindicating the lie that the enemy is telling you. And I feel this is such a strong topic that we as an older generation to a younger generation need to start taking hold of. That we need to start eradicating the lies we tell ourselves about our bodies, because the reality is it's just not true. When I was turning 40, I got to a point in my life where I just wanted to age well. I probably weighed the most I've ever weighed in all of my life. At one, I hadn't got on a scale or anything like that, but I just wasn't feeling well. I was in a rut of unhealthy habits, not drinking enough water, just indulging on things that just transfer back to sugar, not exercising enough. And I just felt like I needed to take hold of where I was at. And it wasn't about the weight. It wasn't about the size of my clothing, but it was about the way I felt and how I needed to honor my body to be the best version of myself within my body, because our bodies are the only thing we get once of. We're not going to just get a whole nother body. Like, we got to look after it. And it led me back to 1 Corinthians, verse 6, and verse 19 and 20. Don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price, so you must honor God with your body. And I went on this entire journey of coming to grips with what was structurally happening within my body. And I did something called a live blood analysis. It was the most life-changing thing that I did, and I could actually see my blood cells clumped together. I could actually see the high acidity. I could see the dehydration. I could see how my cells just weren't absorbing any nutrients. Probably about 60% of my blood cells were ghost cells, like they were just transparent. I could see the clumps of blood cells that just could not go through a blood vessel. And if they're not going through a blood vessel, you're preventing your body from getting adequate oxygen. I felt the brain fog every single day, and I felt like I was just forgetting things. And I decided to take hold of that, because I was just like, I'm not honoring God with this body He has given me. If anything, I'm harming it, and I'm doing myself a disservice. But through that, I'm not giving Him all of me in its entirety. And I just stuck at it. My biggest thing was giving up alcohol. And I wasn't even a heavy drinker, But for me, it was the habitual nature of having a glass of wine every night. And you wouldn't even think of it. And so I haven't had alcohol for 14 months already, and may even be longer when you're watching this episode. But it's just something I needed to just cut out. And when my girls looked at me doing this whole cleanse with a homeopath and fueling my body and just making decisions based on the wellness of my body, not based on following another quick fad diet, but it really was a transformation of health. You know, they just were like, Mom, we're so proud of you for like taking care of your body. And my girls are so aware of how to move their bodies, and their bodies are there to be strong. Their bodies are there to support them and nourish them. And we nourish our bodies with food, and just like the appreciation we have of our bodies. But I sat there just going, this is why I'm doing it. Because I want to raise up my girls to not have a narrative that I had of my body needs to be fixed. My body needs to change. So quick things I want to just encourage you with today is like, and things you can take hold of right now. Take stock of something that is maybe a bad habit, something you do on autopilot. You just grab a handful of nuts versus actually eating a nutritious meal. We have this notion of the more we eat, the more we're going to store. But the reality is, the less we eat, the more in survival mode our body goes, because our body's just so worried they're not going to get food again. So take note of the habits. Keep a journal on habits. You just need to figure out, are you drinking enough water? Are you in the car a whole lot? So if you are, make sure you have a water bottle that's going to keep cold. Just little things that can make life-changing habits for yourself. One that was so big for me was not having coffee on an empty stomach. Just making sure I had breakfast in the morning and then I had a cup of coffee, because the coffee just gave me such acidity and it wasn't setting up my body for the best start of the day. So take note of that. How much caffeine you drink. Electrolytes are just phenomenal. I'm going to link to the electrolytes I use, which are just amazing. But fueling your body with nutrients throughout the day. Sometimes we're drinking so much water, but we're actually not being able to retain the water in our bodies. So electrolytes are just winners, in my opinion. This is going to be a sensitive one. But no matter your size, wear the right size clothing. Don't wear the clothing you wish you could be. Wearing the right size clothing and just having it fit you well looks good. No one's going to come up at you and go, oh, what size are you wearing today? I mean, really? Have you ever done that to someone? I just want to check what size your shirt is today. Like, if it looks good and it fits you well, you're going to carry it well. But man, if you're wearing a pair of pants or a shirt that is just way too small for you because you have this desired need to buy something 2 sizes smaller than you, because you just want to know, I bought a small, but actually a large is going to look better on you. Just buy the large, because I can tell you right now, the small is going to look small. It's the reality. Don't try and squeeze into things you're hoping you can fit into. Accept where you're at and work from there. If you are getting despondent with the scale, try other measures on how to gauge whether or not your body's changing. I can always feel it on clothes, but I always notice it in my face. It is like a telltale sign if I am holding inflammation, if I'm holding water, my face. Or measure yourself. It's just such a small way of trying to encourage yourself to have small wins in life, but you're not sitting and dependent on a scale. And be the narrative you want to believe. You do not need to tell yourself, oh, I can't wear that, or I don't look good in that, or I don't deserve that because my body is the way it is. Again, you do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price. God did not make a mistake when He made us. He made us uniquely us. There's no one else like you. No one else like you. Fuel your body well to support and drive the purpose that the Lord has put in you. Because that allows us to walk in confidence in who we are and where we're going to. So friends, I just want to encourage you today. Do not tell yourself the lies of what you want to believe based on society, based on everyone else's opinions. Because a lot of times those opinions come from a space of insecurity and not being completely confident and rooted in who they are as a person. So I hope today has been encouraging. Thank you so much for listening. And again, just keep on going. Keep on moving to unfold the best person and the best version of yourself that has been uniquely created by the Lord. So until we meet again, bye.